So today I find myself out here in Marceline, Missouri. Downtown Marceline, Missouri. This is Walt Disney's, they call it Walt Disney's hometown. So this isn't where Walt Disney was born. He was actually born just outside of Chicago. But this is where they say he spent his formative years, his younger years. Lived in a house not too far from here. We're gonna go check that out. Had a barn out there. They say that's where he got a lot of his inspiration for a lot of the Disney characters, were the barnyard animals. And this here is where he got his inspiration for Main Street, U.S.A. This is downtown Marceline. There's a truck coming down here, but I'll cross the road in a second, and then I'm gonna walk down the road here. It's a quaint little downtown area, but this is the park I'm gonna walk around real quick and see what's going on. Looks like this probably used to be a fountain here in the middle of this little square. Hey, look. Are those petunias? If you know, you know. Always a fan of some trains. We've got trains. Always a fan of a train in the middle of a square. I think I can actually, doesn't say stay off, but I'm gonna stay off just because I'm not I don't know for sure. I don't know. This has steps. There's wooden steps to get up there and look inside, so see if we can see anything inside here. A little bit of glare. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see a little bit. Got ourselves a little stage over here. There's a Carnegie Library across the road. Another big locomotive. And a dried up little pond here. So I don't know a ton about Walt Disney. I'm a fan of Walt Disney. I've been a fan of Walt Disney and Disney in general since I was a kid. I grew up in Central Florida in Orlando. It was always a big part of my life, but I got the chance to come out here with my son living, like I said, about 2 hours away. I just couldn't miss the chance to kind of come out here and see some history for Walt Disney and all of that. So forgive me if I don't know everything or if I say something wrong. It's still fun to be out here. So you can see it's got the Santa Fe and Disneyland Railroad. Train number 2546. It's a big honking beast here. It's a big boy. It's a giant engine, man. Just gotta get up in there. That thing, I don't know. There's probably an information placard somewhere. But that thing is huge. Let's see, I might say something on this little board here. This is a consolidation class. His wheels are medium size. They look extremely large to me. So pause that and read it if you want. So yeah, we're down here just hanging out. It's a little small town, middle of Missouri, Marceline, Missouri. From, I think, if you look on a map, I mean, it's basically in between St. Louis and Kansas City. I think it's probably closer to Kansas City. But yeah, we're just gonna walk around downtown. I'm gonna go check out his childhood home, his barn, and then the Walt Disney Park here in downtown Marceline, and a little walk down Main Street. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Not yet. The first plans of Disneyland show a remarkable resemblance to the town with its storefronts on Main Street and locomotives coming and going. So yeah, definitely an influence. I mean, to be honest, it looks like a lot of small town kind of main streets. But this one just so happens to be the one where Walt Disney grew up. If I remember correctly, this is north, and his childhood home is maybe a mile from here. I don't know exactly how far, but we're gonna go check that out. Down there, about 5-6 blocks, is the Walt Disney. I don't know if it's called the Municipal Park. I don't know if that's what it's called. But we're gonna go check that out next once we get back to the car, which is right up here at the square. I'm gonna walk out here and get a picture of Main Street. So I guess Walt's idea is, you know, you'd have the castle maybe down there. I don't know which way. Maybe down from the other way down here. From this angle, it'd be like down there. Or be Cinderella's castle. Here's the old KDWD Walt Disney 99.1. I like checking out these real old brick buildings. Anytime you see a Coca-Cola painted on the side of a building is always a bonus, in my opinion. At least it looks like they keep that one up pretty good. Even Main Street U.S.A. sign is a little homage, little hidden Mickey there. Well, not so hidden, I suppose. Let's see. Clock is not right. Right now it is 12:57. This one's not moving, so that's why it's not right. But it will be right twice today. Is that what they say? Main Street, USA. Our tiny city hall across the street there. We actually just ate lunch right over there. I'll show you what we had, what I had at least. It was pretty good. Be nice to have a good Mexican restaurant that you can go to if you live in a small town like this. There's the Uptown Theater. We'll walk back by that on that side. That's how the historic Marceline Uptown Theater. Yeah, let's give some props to Donald and Daisy and Minnie and the man himself. Goofy wants to take all your money. The Spirit of Mickey Mouse. Actually, I do remember, yeah, they had this movie, The Spirit of Mickey Mouse, and and they opened this theater, and lots of big wigs came out to partake in the spirit of Mickey. I have to look that up. Let's see. Are those petunias? Yeah, this is where we ate lunch at. Los Shimas. It's very good. Very, very good. Just FYI, yes, those were petunias, just like those ones. So, this is fun. Just walking around this small town. Marceline, Missouri. A few people have told me to check it out. I will say one thing. I was told I had to go eat at this pizza shop over here called Marceline Pizza Company. Drove all the way, drove 2 hours here. Was really looking forward to it. And on Mondays they don't open until 4. So that'll have to wait for another time, hopefully. So now we've made it over just up the road, about maybe a mile, mile and a half, to the Disney family farmhouse. It says here, I went with our family to live in Marceline when I was around 4 years old. I clearly remember the day we arrived there on the train. And Mr. Kaufman met us in his wagon and we rode out to our little house in the country just outside the city limits. I believe it was called the Crane Farm. My first impression of it was that it had a beautiful front yard. And today, this isn't necessarily what we would consider the country, but I'm sure back then there wasn't as many. Obviously, there weren't any of these homes. The bank wasn't there. Might have been a church or something. I'm gonna stay off their property. I'm just gonna walk on the gravel along the side of the road here. But yeah, this is where a young Walt Disney grew up. Like you saw on that one mural, his famous quote of the things that kind of formed him as a young man and into as an adult all started here at this farmhouse in Marceline, Missouri. Right on the outskirts. He wasn't lying about that. So Marceline was down that way, just to the southwest of here, maybe a mile or so. So I would imagine as a kid, Walt and his brothers or family would ride into town or do his thing down there. So Walt Disney's childhood home is just at the end of the block there. Right around the corner was the Disney family farm. This is where Walt's dreaming tree was, where he sat. The tree is gone, but I'll show you where it was. He sat there and thought of many of his stories. And I'll stop it each one of these little plaques, and I won't read it all, but you can pause it, but we'll take a second to read them. Yeah, that's the main quote. To tell the truth, more things of importance happened to me in Marceline than have happened to me since or are likely to in the future. Ow. Ooh, I stepped in a hole. Watch out for the holes. So I would assume this is where, no, okay, so this is just the son of Dreaming Tree. Let me take a second to read that. His grandson planted this, and I believe it said it was from the original Dreaming Tree with soil from Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom, yeah. Soil from the Magic Kingdom and water from the rivers of America were lovingly mixed with soil from this iconic farm during the planting ceremony. That's pretty cool. And then over here is where the original Dreaming Tree was. I'll just allow this placard to tell me where. Somewhere, okay, there's like a little creek back there, so this tree would have been somewhere in this area. So it was 1906. So there's like a small little ravine there that looked like that was in the picture, so I guess the Dreaming Tree was right in this area. In the spring of 1906, the Disneys moved their family from the hustle and bustle of Chicago. That's where Walt Disney was born. Funny enough too, and you might not have known this, Mom, but the Disneys, Walt's parents, I don't remember if it was Elias, I don't remember if it was Walt's parents or his grandparents, but they're all from Lake County, Florida. They all met, the families were down in Paisley, and their graves are still down there in Paisley, Florida. So this is going to be the barn based on Walt's memories of their family barn on the family farm. Oh yeah, this is a good story. Walt was young, he had his friends pay money to come see his circus, but the animals weren't performing like they should, so his friends wanted their money back, and he told him no, but his mom told him that as a showman, if the show doesn't provide whatever, that they should get their money back. So he learned that lesson. I've heard that one before. I've heard this story too. He built the farm and is over in California, and that's where he went and worked, and they called it the Carrollwood Barn. It's so funny. I've seen like a couple videos of this place from just from people like Adam and a couple other people. So this barn is based off actual blueprints. And I do have a Sharpie, so I will leave my mark. Oh man. Just gotta remember, I'm looking for one specific So I guess Walt's barn in California, Carrollwood Barn, where he would build his model trains, and obviously we all know he was a big fan of trains. But I guess this would be considered Walt's man cave. All right, moving on. Yeah, I found it. It's right there. Adam the Woo.
Huh?
Adam the Woo. Right there.
Oh.
No, I left my mark. Petunias everywhere. And then one more I just saw. Another YouTuber that I like is this guy right here. Justin Scarred. So he was here at some point as well. So apparently Walt really loved this mid-sized barn. Really loved it. I'm gonna assume it's the playground that Walt would play in when he was a kid. His dad probably put the little plastic slide up. What do you think? You think that's where Walt played?
Yeah.
That's where he got the idea for his roller coasters and stuff. So I'm taking a guess, but I think this is kind of the main section where you would see Main Street USA, like Disneyland style, with that gentle uphill slope with the castle up at the top there. That's perfect.